All right, so we kind of previewed adding integers a little bit in the absolute value topic, but now we're going to dive into it, right? So there's a saying that we're going to have, and you're probably going to want to memorize it. I'm sure you might have heard it. Um, we kind of say it to the row, row, row your boat. Kind of. You remember that? What is that called? It's like a nursery rhyme, but it's not. It's like a little song, I guess. Okay. So we're gonna say it to like row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Okay. But now we're just using different words. Okay. So our little song is same signs, add and keep, opposite signs, subtract, take the sign of the bigger number. Then you'll be exact. Okay? So same signs, add and keep, opposite signs, subtract. Take the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. Okay? So we're going to practice saying that together. I'm going to have it up on the board because it's super important. Okay? Each line is kind of something separate, so you want to know same signs, add and keep. And then opposite signs, subtract is its own important part. And then take the sign of the bigger number. Okay, so each of those is kind of pieced apart. So we have to look at our problem when we're asked to find the sum and figure out are they same signs or opposite signs, and then what to do with it. Okay, so looking at example 1, looking at these signs, we have a -4 plus a -5. Those are both negative, so they're the same signs. So we're going to add them. So we're really doing 4 plus 5, which we know 4 plus 5 is 9. And we want to keep the sign. That's what keep means. Keep means keep the sign. Okay? So the signs were negative. So we're going to keep a negative. So -4 plus 5 is really -9. Okay? Let's look at B. We have a -4. And if there's nothing in front of the 5, it's an assumed positive sign here. So we have a negative and a positive. These are opposite signs. So we're going to subtract them. So I might actually rewrite this as 5 minus 4. Okay, what is 5 minus 4? 1, right? And we take the sign of the bigger number. 5 is bigger and it was positive, so our 1's positive. But you just don't need to write the positive, okay? So we'll leave it as 1 because it's an implied positive. All right, so let's do that again. So we have a +4 this time and a -5. Okay, so that's really 4 minus 5. And since we want to, hold on. No, just kidding. Sorry. I want to write it as 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. But our 5 isn't just a 5, it's a -5. And that's the bigger number. Okay? Between 4 and 5, 5's bigger, but 5's negative. So our answer is negative. If that makes sense. Letter D has a couple things happening. So we're going to look at it just in chunks. So we're going to look at it as these numbers first. Okay? So this is a -4 plus a -5. They're same signs, add and keep. So same signs, add and keep. So that means we add the 4 and the 5, and that gives us 9, and we keep the sign of the negative. And then I'm going to bring down this plus -3. And now that's what I'm looking at. Now I'm looking at this. Okay? Now I'm looking at it, and they have a negative and a negative. So they're same signs, add and keep. Okay? 9 plus 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. Keep the sign bring down the negative. Okay, so if there were more numbers, you would just keep on bringing them down and down and down. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. We're going to do example 2 together, example 2a together. Okay, so we're going to just start looking at example 2. So we're going to do that first piece together, -2 plus 7. Those are opposite signs, so we subtract. Same, we add. Okay, so opposite signs. What's 7 minus 2? 7 minus 2 is 5. And then we can't forget about the rest of this. So I'm just going to rewrite this exactly how I see it. Rewrite everything exactly how you see it. And now we're just focused on these next two numbers, just these two. So what is 5 plus -3? Okay, they're opposite signs, so we subtract. So what's 5 minus 3? 5 minus 3 is 2. And then again, I have extra stuff, so I just rewrite it exactly how I see it. So what is 2 plus 6? 2 plus 6 is 8. Okay. So I want you to try example B on your own. So I want you to try example B on your own. All right, hopefully for that first set, you got a -7. Remember, we rewrite out the rest of the problem. This part doesn't go away, right? So we rewrite it right below. And then we look at the next two, and we do that until all of them are done. So make sure you're writing it exactly how I'm showing you, because that's important. So that way we can see every step of the process, okay? All right, so hopefully then when you did -7 plus -7, they were the same signs, so you got -14. And then we brought down the rest, so we're looking now at just -14 plus 8, which we have opposite signs, we really subtract. 14 minus 8 is 6. Keep the sign of the bigger number is 14, so that was negative, so it's a -6. And now we have our last two numbers, -6 plus 4. Again, opposite sign, subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. The bigger number is 6, and that's negative, so it's a -2. Okay, so hopefully you wrote all the steps that I did. Okay, if you have questions about where I got that number at, please make sure you're asking, okay, when I see you again. Let's look at example 3. Example 3, we're talking about number lines, and example 4, okay, so number lines here. We want to figure out what this first arrow is. Where does this first arrow go to? What is this number? Well, that number is -7. So this first arrow goes to -7. And then we have another arrow that comes over top. So we're adding to this arrow. And how many spaces did this arrow go? It went 1, 2, 3 spaces. So we're adding 3. Okay. We don't want to find the answer. The answer would have been here, right? Because that's where that last arrow stopped. But that's not what it was asking for. It wanted to know what the addition problem was. So that's why we had to figure out the arrows. Okay. I mean, I guess you could say equals -4 if you wanted to. That's fine. So in this first one, we had to find the arrows, right? Figure out what the arrows were. In example 4, we want to draw the arrows. So we want to start at 0, and we want to go -4. So we want to draw our arrow to stop at -4. From there, we want to go from this arrow 6 in the positive direction. We went into -4 because this was negative. We're going to the positive because there's an implied positive, right? So we move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now that's where our arrow is. Okay. And then what do we get? Where does this end up? It ends up at 2. So we modeled it and then we found the answer, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. We'll do more practice with the arrows and everything.